It's not often someone can achieve national status as a junior player, attend one of the nation's most elite universities, go on to a successful career outside the game, and then return to the courts to win a state championship. But then again, there's only one Ham Magill.
At that level of success with the tennis and then something else again is remarkable. It doesn't happen that often, sort of a scholar athlete. It doesn't happen that often, and it's really, I think, a remarkable achievement what he's done.
You're not going to find a combination of a better player and a better person than we got in Ham Magill.
Daniel Hamilton Ham Magill learned the game of tennis from his father Dan, the legendary tennis coach at the University of Georgia.
Dan couldn't have taken an athlete with no talent and turned him into a Ham Magill. He just so happened that it was a confluence of, a fortuitous confluence of circumstances where you had a father who was a great coach and teacher and a student who had great talent and was smart and understood what he was being taught and was able to execute.
Interestingly, I met Ham on court 1 at Bitsy Grant Tennis Center when I was a little boy in 1956. We played an early round match, and I was just turned 8 years old. Ham was 11. And somehow, it was before the tiebreaker days, and somehow I won the first set 11-9. I was thrilled with myself, and Bitsy Grant was kind of newly open, and the Railbirds, as we used to call them, told me to come on up and have a Coke. So I went up and had a Coke, and we had a break. And I didn't notice, but Ham was over in the corner about 50 feet away from me with an adult man who turned out to be the legendary Coach Dan Magill. When we returned to the court, I lost 6-1, 6-1. So obviously, while I was enjoying the adulation of the Railbirds, Ham was getting some good coaching from his dad.
In 1960, at the age of 15, Magill was the top-ranked player in the state, as well as the South, plus the number 3 ranked player in the country. He was a slender baseline force with a dominating backhand and only lost 3 times, all to the number 1 player in the nation, Canadian-born Florida resident Mike Belkin.
Ham's backhand was just breathtaking. This big, sweeping, powerful, crushing backhand. I've never seen anything like it.
He only lost 3 matches in 10 tournaments, all to the same person who was the national champion, Mike Belkin. And he lost in a 3-set battle in the semifinals to Belkin, or he probably would have won the national championship.
Magill would then team up with his father, and the two would go on to win 5 Southern Open father-son doubles titles.
Dan and Ham got along well on the court and off the court, and he always showed a lot of respect for his father, but at the same time, Ham has got a great sense of humor, and his father had a great sense of humor, so I think they probably could laugh at each other once in a while.
As good as Magill was on the court, he was just as strong in the classroom. In 9th grade, he left Athens to attend the prestigious Choate School in Wallingford, Connecticut, the same institution that educated President John F. Kennedy. There, he would play number 1 singles for 4 years and win the Eastern Interscholastics Championship. He was later elected class president and would deliver the commencement address his senior year.
I feel like Ham was sort of a star on campus right from the beginning. He was such a wonderful player. We had the 2 top doubles teams from the year before, and yet Ham kind of rose right to the top very, very early on.
Despite going to Choate, which is a great school, obviously, but despite being in a cold weather climate, he continued, to be an excellent junior player. In fact, won the Eastern Interscholastics Championship, which is a real big tournament.
After the Choate School, Magill would head to the Ivy League and attend Princeton University. With his stellar academic background, he started college as a sophomore, making him eligible to play varsity sports in his first year. He played number 5 singles on the famous Princeton team that went to Florida and ended Miami's NCAA all-sports record 137-match winning streak. Magill's singles victory at number 5 helped seal the upset.
Well, first, that was the longest streak in college tennis. So that's number 1. Number 2, we came out of the Northeast where we didn't play tennis. I bet I played tennis 5 times all winter, maybe 10 all winter, and not in the sun. And then we go down there and beat these guys who've been practicing in the sun all spring, all winter. to beat them was really a remarkable thing. And Ham, he was a sophomore, a young player, and he, won in 3 sets. It was a critical match. So I can remember driving down to the Keys that night, and we were so excited. We were just over the moon, and it came on the radio that Princeton had ended their streak. I mean, we were just thrilled. So it was a great moment for all of us.
2 years later, as a senior, Magill won at Miami again, this time upsetting Jaime Fillo, Miami's top player. Fillo would become a world top 15 player and a member of Chile's Davis Cup team.
When Princeton went down to play the University of Miami, Jaime Fillo was on the team, and he was Ham's opponent, and Ham won. Ham beat him, and Jaime Fillo went on to become number 14 in the world. I think rose to being number 14 in the world. So that was one of Ham's great victories. That Dan, Ham's father, says that was Ham's greatest victory.
After his senior season, Magill came home to win the 1966 Georgia State Open at the Bitsy Grant Tennis Center, where he defeated Georgia Tech All-American Wally Johnson.
He actually pretty much put the racket down after winning the state men's open championship, defeating Georgia Tech All-American Wally Johnson in the finals and a couple other great players on the way to winning that title.
After college, Magill stepped away from the game for a while as he went to medical school and then started his career as a cardiologist. Magill would be a member of the Athens Cardiology Group for 33 years and performed the first cardiac catheterization in Athens.
At that time, you played tennis for a while and then you got out unless you were one of the greats. And that's what Ham did. And he not only got out, he had a career that surpassed his tennis career. It was a really remarkable career he had. So, I mean, I'm very, very proud of that accomplishment. I mean, he just was a terrific person, very smart, no arrogance, and just so much fun. I can't tell you how much fun we had with him.
Ham kind of knew exactly what he was doing all the time. When he was 15, I feel like he knew he wanted to be a doctor. He just knew what he wanted to do, and he did it.
Magill would eventually return to the court and not miss a step. In 1983, with only a month of practice, he won the state title in the 35 and over age group.
We got to playing little tennis again when he was about 35, and he picked it back up just magically overnight and was still so tough. I've said many times that two of the greatest attributes that he got from his father were his wit and his competitiveness, because he's the consummate competitor.
Although his competitive tournament career spanned about 15 years, Magill was a dominant force on the court and forged many relationships that still exist today. Now in retirement, he started to pick up the game again. He's been playing for fun on a regular basis, and you never know what could be next.
Yes, he had a lot of success on the tennis court. He won a lot of tennis matches, but he also brought a lot of distinction to the game just by the kind of person he is and the accomplishments that he's had in life.
He's well deserved to get in the Hall of Fame of tennis. He's probably well deserved to get in the Hall of Fame of cardiology, but he's a better guy than he is both those two things.
Congratulations to Ham Magill, a 2017 inductee into the Georgia Tennis Hall of Fame.